Acton in Focus is brought to you by Acton Pharmacy.
Welcome to Acton in Focus. I'm Vivian Copsinger-Birchall, your host, and with me today is Joanne and Kennet from the Acton Farmers Market. Welcome to Acton in Focus.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Well, can you tell us more? What is the Acton Farmers Market about?
Well, I'll start.
What is it?
I'll start. So the Acton Farmers Market, the Acton-Boxborough Farmers Market.
Oh, yeah, okay.
We're going to be starting our 13th year. And we're very excited about the new lifting of restrictions from COVID. So, but basically it's where we have farmers and vendors who produce their own food. So in some cases it's granola or jams and things like that. Be able to sell their produce and victuals here. And it's open to all the community members, and it's really trying to get community support for having a whole food, healthy food. And we have sometimes music, community tables, so it's a real community event.
How did it start? How did it come about?
Yeah, so I've been on the board since the beginning, and it came about to a woman in town, Jennifer Campbell. She had an idea of starting a farmer's market. She kind of got into the idea of supporting local farms and working on that. And I met her at Oktoberfest the year before we started the market, and she had a booth and she was getting people to sign up. So I was one of the founding board members. And we really looked at supporting local farmers. That was kind of our main mission. We wanted to support sustainable agriculture. We wanted it close. We wanted to cut down on the transportation. We wanted to help the small farmers. And so we came up with a mission statement to kind of further that. Then in the first couple of years, we had some issues with produce not being produced by the farmer or things happening, so we went to producer only, and that was a big step, and a lot of the farmers that we have really appreciated it because we started policing exactly who was growing things, where they came from, making sure that everything came from where they said. And we got a reputation around local farmers markets because we did have vendors that we removed because they weren't following the rules. And then we were at Pearl Street in Acton for 10 years, and then when the COVID restrictions came in, we moved to this site here off of Elm Street because we could limit access, and we're going to continue with that this year because we weren't sure where COVID was going to be. But our long-term goal is to move back into West Acton Center, hopefully in the Gardner Field.
So two things. First of all, about COVID, how did that impact the farmers market? And the second one is you have mentioned that you focused on the producer, on the agricultural producers, right? So does that, are we assuming that only agricultural producers, or is that how you refer to them? Or but are they the only ones who participate as vendors in the farmers market? And if not, who else?
No, we have a variety of vendors. We want to concentrate on the farms. That's the whole point of the market, is to help the local farmers and food production. But we have have an artisan that we come, and then we have other products that one of our most popular is bagels. We have bagels, and unfortunately they weren't able to come last year, but they are coming back this year, so that's a big plus. We try to have a bread vendor. We have pasta. So we try to get a variety of food and other things that are made locally. But what we do require is the vendors have to produce what they bring. So like if you have a bread vendor, they actually have to be the bakers of the bread.
That's
You know,
excellent.
the pasta, they make the pasta and the sauce. So we continue that requirement to all of our vendors, that they're producers.
And how did COVID impact the farmers market?
Well, we weren't even sure we were going to have a market, so but the town worked with us and came up with rules. We had to have one-way traffic. We had to reduce the number of vendors. What we did was we had the vehicles parked in between the stalls, so that gave extra space between the stalls. We just came up with creative ways to keep it as close to the market we had before, but follow the rules. And you know, we did the best we could, and it seemed fairly successful.
So one of the reasons we're here today is you want to talk about the upcoming farmers market. When does the season begin?
Yeah.
Sunday, June 27th will be our first Sunday, and we're going to operate until October 10th. So we're very excited to be able to kick off the next farmers market right here in this great location. It is great that the town is being very cooperative and supportive of us to allow us to take over the parking lot on Sunday mornings during the summer and fall.
So what should people expect? That's a twofold question. First of all, the vendors. How can vendors apply to participate? And two, what should the residents expect at the farmers market?
Sure. So the vendors, we always invite the vendors who were here the year before, providing they were vendors in good standing.
I like that.
Yeah, because you know, as Kennet mentioned, some vendors were asked not to come back for a variety of reasons. We want to make sure we have a mix of items for sale. You know, we have several farmers coming with produce who grow different types of things. We have a couple of meat vendors who have, you know, pasture-raised, grass-fed, humanely raised meat and poultry and eggs. I believe we also, we have eggs as well. So we want to have a mix. So, and then as Kennet mentioned, we have the bagels are coming back, which was very popular, and a baker as well. So it's a nice mixture of different things. You can, you know, stock up for the week of food. And then we also have artisans that come as well and sell their things.
And are you going to have any COVID-19 protocols in place, or are those lifted?
I believe we're going to follow what the state CDC, which is what you know, whatever the town wants us to do, we'll do. But generally, the direction we've received from the Board of Health is whatever the state wants us to do. So. Last year, you asked about the impacts. Last year, everybody was wearing masks. We had invited people to either sanitize their hands or wash their hands upon entering. We had the one-way traffic that was mentioned. So I suspect that this year we're probably going to do away with the masks, unless, you know, we're going to ask any of our vendors who haven't been vaccinated to continue to wear masks, which is what's been recommended.
So that's an honor system we're depending on.
Right.
Yes.
I mean, we're going to follow whatever the local Board of Health, however they.
Yes.
The rules, as we understand it now, will be people who were not fully vaccinated will continue to wear masks, but it's on them to wear the masks or not. We won't be able to police that because you can't tell if somebody's vaccinated or not. And you did ask, well, I guess while we're still on the COVID, we are going to actually have more vendors this year. That last year we had to keep it wide open spaces, and we're going to be able to put a double row of vendors on the far side. So we're going to be able to increase the vendors. We won't quite be back to what we originally were when we were on Pearl Street, but we're getting much closer. And then you did ask about becoming a vendor. We're pretty full for the season at this point because we usually start the application process in February. But we do have 1 or 2 per diem slots, and anybody looking for next year, it's all on our website. If you go to our website, there's a button to click, you know, become a vendor, and takes you through everything you need to do.
Just to take you back to something you mentioned, that those who are not in good standing are not coming back. So for the benefit of people who are interested in becoming vendors, what are some of the usual or very common violations that vendors make that they should look out for?
I mean, we're fairly flexible. The biggest thing is producer only.
Okay.
That has been our biggest issue. There's also, arriving on time, because with the setup, we have to make sure all the vehicles are set and parked before the customers come. Other than that, that's pretty much it. It's making sure that whatever they say they're bringing, that's what they bring. They don't start bringing things that aren't on their list that they didn't get cleared, stuff like that.
All right. Well, I'm excited about the farmers market. I look forward to local produce because I like to support local economies because that's what sustains our beautiful towns.
Absolutely. And you want to mention SNAP?
Oh, we could mention the SNAP. So SNAP, I don't know if you're aware or other people aware, that's the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program?
Sure.
Sure. It basically food stamps. It replaced food stamps. And in the market, a lot of the vendors they can't take the EBT cards. So we have script at our table, and we match the first. Are we at 30?
20?
25?
I think it's 20.
I thought it was 25.
Between 20 and 25.
Yes.
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 We match every week, so if someone comes, they can, the first 20 that they'll get matched.
Right.
So that, so if they come using the EBT card, they process it with us, we charge them 20, but we give them $40 in script that they use at the vendors, and then the vendors get reimbursed from us.
So a quick question, which will probably be the final one. How is the structure and organization of the farmers market supported? And how can people who want to support this good initiative support it?
That is a great question. That's what I wanted to bring up. We run on volunteers. We are all volunteers.
Yes.
None of us are paid. We currently have a board of 5 leadership board members, and then we have some amazing other members that do a ton of work for us. But we can always use volunteers. And it can be you're available one Sunday to come help at the market, or you have a skill that you can help when it's not at the market, or you can come more often. We'll take a little bit or a lot of help. We really need volunteers. It really helps us do what we need to do.
Absolutely. And one last thing. Sorry. One of the things I do as a board member is I organize our supporters. So we do have local businesses that help support us by becoming either supporters or sponsors. We have a handy-dandy shopping bag that we put their logos on. There's information about them on our website. And they also provide some financial support to us. So it's very important that, the community, they're an important part of this effort. It's not just the volunteers, the vendors, it's also some of the local businesses as well.
And what's the website that people can go to learn more about the farmers market?
abfarmersmarket.org.
Excellent. So I will let each of you have one word for our viewers.
Come to the market and have fun. And also about the volunteers, we'll take teenagers as well as adults. We need some people to help with setup. So young, strong people are always welcome.
That's about all I was going to say. But it's a great thing. It's like a little carnival that comes to this area once a week, and it's really fun, and you should come down and shop. If you want to volunteer, that would be great.
Well, thank you, Joanne and Kennet, for your time and for explaining to us what the farmers market is. I'm excited, and I hope our viewers are as excited as I am. Come support local farmers, local businesses, and support our local economy. Thank you for watching Acton in Focus. Till next time.